Welcome to Learning English with Captain Vinay Waragil, Assistant Professor, Department of English, St. Joseph College, Devkri, Kozhikode. In fact, this is the fourth lecture in the series on the intonation, and earlier we had three videos in which, of course, we had an introduction to intonation, we had a lecture on the falling tune. So also we had in fact a lecture on the rising tune or rising intonation, and in this particular video, the fourth video on intonation patterns, we are discussing the fall rise intonation. Fall rise intonation, okay, and the fall rise intonation is also known as dive. It is also known as dive, and we have to understand the fact that the fall rise intonation or dive is marked with a symbol like this, okay. So we have the syllable, and above and in front of the syllable we are marking the dive, and this particular symbol indicates the fact that it is of course a fall rise intonation. The sound comes down and goes up. Falling and rising together on a particular sound is what is known as fall rise intonation. And like we said some time ago about which sentences can have the falling tune and the rising tune, now of course we can generally say that of course the fall rise intonation or the dive is typically usually used for special implications and gives the impression that the listener should understand more than a literal interpretation of the words. So we have of course something spoken, but more than the very literal or the very idea, that is of course something else is implicated, and in order to insinuate something, imply something, suggest something more than what is said is of course the use of fall rise intonation or dive. Fall rise is used to imply something, and this kind of implications we have in three contexts. Number one, sometimes we have of course a statement already uttered, and the statement, if the statement is a correction of what someone else has said, we are depending on the fall rise. So we have the example here. So somebody says, you are speaking about the age of someone. So your friend says that your friend is of okay, that person is a different person or a third person, okay, so is about 45, but you or another person, someone else you are speaking with is sure about the age, and when you are correcting the maybe an idea or age or of course maybe year or the measurements or something, anything, any kind of corrections, right? Somebody said something and you are correcting it, somebody is correcting, okay, we have the use of the fall rise intonation. Say for example, he is 45. It is of course a normal, the falling tune. He is 45, but another person is correcting. No, 46. 46. You are correcting. No, he is not 45. He is of course 46. So when you are correcting on this particular 6, you have the falling and rising. Falling and rising. This is the dive. Okay, and now 46. 6. Now he is 46. Sound is just coming down and going up, and this is known as fall rise intonation. Now that is of course the first use of the fall rise intonation. When we are correcting a statement, we are using the fall rise. Number two, okay, when you want to warn somebody, okay, warning someone, or you are just threatening somebody. If you are warning someone, you will be using the fall rise. Say for example, you want to say that if you go right now, you will be late. Like you can say that, okay, you will be late. You will be late. Okay, or you can even say that, okay, you have something which is of course very delicate, and you say you mustn't shake it. You mustn't shake it. It's a warning. If you shake, it will be maybe destroyed or damaged, right? So you'll be late. If you go now, you'll be late. It's a warning. Okay. So don't just go right now. You should have gone earlier. Or maybe if you start sometime later, of course you'll be late. you'll be late. You mustn't shake it. So when you want to warn someone that if you don't do it in the proper way, there is going to be some danger. Of course, we are using the polarized intonation. And sometimes the third is, of course, right, you want to imply something else. You are implying, okay, or indicating something else. You are, of course, using, right, conveying an additional meaning, like, of course, right, insinuations, reservations, or understatements we have. Okay, so we say something, we mean something else. So such context, of course, we are using the intonation, that is, of course, dive or forward. Say we mean, of course, right, we say that somebody is, of course, pretty, somebody is beautiful, but we mean that she is not intelligent. Like, yeah, she is pretty. Yeah, she is pretty, but not intelligent. Or when you say that, she is, yeah, yes, she is pretty. Yeah, she is pretty, but she's not intelligent. Okay? Or else you can say that, okay, yeah, yes, this essay is good. It's good. It's good. But it's good, but it is not publishable. You cannot publish it, right? Okay, yes. So when you have that kind of understatement or some kind of reservation, or of course you are insinuating or referring something else, you are using the polarized intonation. So we come to the end of the discussion of polarized intonation. Polarized intonation is used, of course, to convey maybe when you want to correct somebody, number one. Number two, of course, to warn someone. Number three, to, of course, convey an understatement or an implication or of course, right, something beyond what we say. We are using the polarized. The sound is coming down and suddenly going up, and it is marked with, of course, a V mark, falling and rising. All right. So with this, we come to the end of the topic, intonation. Today we discussed intonation. All right, and we know what intonation is. The three types of intonation, mainly falling tune, rising tune, and polarized tune. Okay, and this is all what we have to learn about intonation. Thank you very much for listening, and God bless you.